Ikaruga is a polarizing game. Okay, that pun was kind of intended because, the game has a polarity mechanic, and I said polarizing. Okay, anyway, today we're going to be talking about Ikaruga and why I think it is such a big deal outside of the shmup community. And I just mean like the mainstream gaming community as a whole. I think what's funny about Ikaruga is that when you look at reviews of the game, it praises its insane graphics, it has a beautiful music, it has a... I think that people even bring up the story of the game and how the gameplay mechanic is so refined and genius and well done. And what's funny about Ikaruga is that it's essentially a 5-stage arcade shmup that you can beat in 30 minutes. And if we're being honest with ourselves, stage 5 isn't really that much of a stage to begin with, which I find really funny. Because if you look at similar games, other shmups, and people that review them, you will hear criticisms of, oh, it's a 5-stage game, oh, it's so short, oh, I could just credit feed and beat it. Those criticisms, for the most part, do not get brought up with Ikaruga, which I just kind of find funny overall. So today, I'm going to be talking about why I think Ikaruga is such a polarizing game in the shmup community and why it's so beloved in the mainstream gaming, maybe retro gaming community. So I have 5 reasons that I've listed here, and I'm just going to go through and talk about each and every one of them. So the first reason I have up here, and I'm going to show it on my screen, is that Ikaruga has AAA presentation. Not graphically, but in how it presents its stages, music, etc. So this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I don't think Ikaruga is the best looking shmup of all time. I wouldn't even argue it's the best looking Dreamcast shmup of all time, because if you don't know, Ikaruga is essentially a Dreamcast game. Because there's another game on the Dreamcast, I don't know if you've heard of it, but the people who worked on it, but some people who were contracted by Treasure to work on Ikaruga would work on this game, and it's known as Under Defeat. And if you look at Under Defeat, you can immediately tell why this game looks dramatically better than Ikaruga. Now, I wouldn't say it's a complete blowout, but you just, look at this game, dude. Compare it to Ikaruga side by side, it's nuts. The explosions, the smoke effects, the amount of detail, and polygons they're putting, it's absolutely nuts. So, I don't necessarily think that Ikaruga is the greatest looking game when it comes to visuals, because I do think Under Defeat and like Strania later on from G-Rev as well, which use literally PC hardware, so obviously it's going to look a lot better, I don't think it's the best looking game, but I do think that Ikaruga has the greatest presentation out of any shmup ever. And what I mean by that is, I mean the way it presents its stages, the way its music syncs up with the action, the way the game feels, the feelings that Ikaruga gives you. It's very strong, and it's insanely good. Like, when you first play the game and you, see all the poeticness around and you're circling around your station, and then, your ship blows out of whatever hangar you're in, and then the music and the orchestral chords sync up together. It feels really emotional, it feels powerful, and I wish that more shmups did this, where they had some real emotion, intensity behind it. I feel like a lot of mainstream gamers can get behind something like this because they're so used to this kind of presentation in AAA games, or just in video games as a whole. This more story-driven, orchestral, epic feeling vibe that you get in these games translates very well in Ikaruga. So I think that's why I consider Ikaruga to have the best presentation in the shmup genre, and that's why I think it's so enticing to new shmup players. The next and the second reason why I think Ikaruga is so beloved in the mainstream gaming community, but not so much in the shmup community, is because of the polarity mechanic. So the polarity mechanic is a mechanic unlike the Dodonpachi laser or the Ray Force, lock-on lasers. It's a lot more easy to understand the genius behind the polarity mechanic. Okay, you have a ship, it can be black or white, you can convert from either side with the press of a button, you can absorb bullets if you're on a certain color, and if you're on a different color than your opponent, you can deal twice the damage. That's really easy and interesting, not interesting, that's very easy and simple to explain to somebody who's brand new to shmups, right? Where if you explain why the Dodonpachi laser is so great and so genius, is a little bit more confusing. It's like, okay, so this laser is important to the genre because it slows down your movement, which can allow you to tap dodge better and move through bullets better, but it's also a full stream of bullets, so you won't lose your chain meter at all. And then your friend is like, what the hell are you talking about, man? So I think that's why Ikaruga is so beloved in the mainstream shmup community, and what's not the shmup community, sorry, the gaming community. And I think what's funny is that not a majority, but there are some people in the shmup community that just straight up don't like the polarity mechanic. And the biggest reason is because with the polarity mechanic, you can absorb bullets, you can essentially beat the game without ever pressing fire. And this is actually something that Treasure has literally acknowledged in their game, and I'm pretty sure it's intentional too, because they have an achievement on the Steam version and on the Xbox version too, I believe, that says Dot Eater. There's a game mode that's literally called Dot Eater, and this mode you literally just absorb bullets the whole time. You don't even get to shoot anything. And a lot of mainstream, a lot of shmup players just straight up don't like that you can't shoot stuff. They're like, hey, I want to shoot stuff, man. And there's also a criticism here with Radiant Silver, another Treasure-made game. So I think the polarity mechanic is because it's so easy to explain to somebody compared to other ground-breaking mechanics and shmups. I think that's why it resonates so well with modern gamers and modern retro gamers, whatever, right? So the third reason I think Ikaruga is such a big, is so beloved in the mainstream gaming community is because unlike other shmups like a Bat Rider or Ketsui, for example, Ikaruga has been released on almost every single console, and ever since its inception, it's been very accessible to Western players. Now, when Ikaruga was first released on the Naomi arcade platform and on the Dreamcast, that was for the most part Japanese exclusive. I mean, some Japanese arcade games do come to the West, like the Naomi boards will come to the West sometimes, so maybe the Naomi version could have been in North America as early as 2001, but the Dreamcast version never released in North America. But here's the thing, Ikaruga would then get ported to North America on the GameCube, and then moving on to the Xbox 360, then PS4, now PS5, now Xbox One. All the Xboxes, basically Switch, PC, Steam, whatever. It has been ever since the GameCube version came out back in 2003. Ikaruga has been extremely accessible and extremely cheap to a lot of Western players. So if a Western, or if just your average Joe gaming guy, has heard positive things about Ikaruga, it's not too difficult for them to find it. Whereas, for example, I'm a huge fan of Mushi Futari, but if I tell one of my friends, hey, go get Mushi Futari, they're gonna be like, okay, where can I get it? And I say, oh, it's this Japanese exclusive Xbox 360 game. It's region free though, but it's only on the 360, and it's a little bit expensive, and you're not gonna find it at your local mom and pop shop, right? They're gonna be like, then why the hell should I get this game? And dude, I don't even know where to start looking for this game, right? So I think that's another big reason why Ikaruga is such a polarizing, it's such a big name, because a lot of people have nostalgia for Ikaruga too. A lot of people have memories playing on the GameCube, on the Xbox, on the 360, right? So I think a lot of people have that nostalgia, kind of like how people have nostalgia for Gradius and Darius and R-Type now, right? So I think that's another big reason why it's so big in the mainstream gaming community. The next and the fourth reason why I think Ikaruga is so beloved outside of the shmup community is because of its scoring system. So, the scoring system in Ikaruga is incredibly simple to understand. I could probably tell you right now what it is. The scoring system in Ikaruga is essentially shoot down 3 enemies of one color, then shoot down 3 enemies of another color, and continue that for the rest of the game. It is so incredibly easy to understand. Like, for example, if I were to explain like the scoring system of like even like Dodonpachi, which is usually a game that's a little bit easier to understand. It's like in this case, I'd have to say, okay, so in Dodonpachi, you have to chain a bunch of enemies before the timer on the top left runs out. But then you also have these B icons that you can collect to boost your multiplier. And then when you hit a boss, the hit counter that you end up, the more you hit the boss, the higher your hit counters will be. And then that all gets averaged out, that all gets multiplied and added together at the end of the stage to get you a final stage point. And then if you have extra lives and when you beat the game, that gets added on as well at X and Y. Then you have the hyper system if you're in DOJ and your friend is like, what the hell, dude, what are you saying, man? So I think the fact that Ikaruga is so easy to understand how to score well, how to do well in the game is, I think, really enticing to a lot of players. And when people check out super plays, it looks really sick. And that's another thing I was going to bring up, is that super plays look really sick in general. I have B-roll footage here of Maz SCG playing Ikaruga. He's a fantastic player. He plays this game and I believe Valgrade as well. An awesome dude. Definitely go check out his stuff. And you're looking, and this stuff looks absolutely sick, dude. Like, in my opinion, Ikaruga is one of the most fun shmups to watch. Just look at this shit, bro. It's so much fun, dude. So I think not only does super plays look sick, but because the scoring system is so easy to understand, you can follow the action well. It's not like if, like for example, at GDQ, when Mushi Futari and all these other shmups were being played at GDQ, the commentators constantly had to explain what was going on, how the scoring system works. They had to do all of that while he was playing. But if you play Ikaruga at GDQ, for example, all you gotta say is, okay, so he's just gonna shoot down 3 enemies of one color and then 3 enemies of another color, and that's it. Like, that's so much easier to explain, and a casual audience can understand how to score well, what is, how to do well in this game, better than they can for, like, Dodonpachi, for example. So I think that's why, I think that's why the mainstream community really likes and respects Ikaruga, because it's so easy to understand. And the fifth and the last reason why I think Ikaruga is so beloved outside the shmup community is the fact that all this combination of stuff that I've been talking about hits the exact criteria needed to get high review scores from professionals and quote-unquote content creators. And the unfortunate reality about content creation and reviews and gaming journalism in general is that a lot of people really take what you say seriously, and it's really unfortunate because a lot of this stuff is exactly what modern gamers are looking for when it comes to a modern shmup. And it's very unfortunate because for a lot of people, Ikaruga was their first game, and when they play it, they don't really feel enticed to try out more games in the genre because of its excruciating difficulty. And this is something that really frustrates me as a shmup player, as a shmup fan, as somebody who plays Mars Matrix semi-professionally, but as somebody who plays these games, and enjoys these games a lot, I feel like having your introduction be Ikaruga is a massive shame because the game is so difficult. I feel like if you were to try out a game like Espgaluda or something else, I feel like you would love and appreciate the genre more than you would playing Ikaruga. And I've talked with people, and a lot of people, and this is something that I wanted to touch up on. I have had one of the rare opportunities to genuinely play Ikaruga in an actual arcade machine at a convention hosted by my local school. And a lot of people were really interested in how I was playing the game. A lot of people would sit down next to me and play, and I would talk to them about shmups and Ikaruga in general. And they'd be like, yeah, I played this game before, or I haven't played this game before. And they would tell me like, oh yeah, after I played this game, I didn't really feel interested in playing more shmups. And some people who are playing this game, they're like, man, this is too, like, who are playing the game with me, who haven't played Ikaruga before, they're like, man, this game's a little too difficult, man. I hope you have fun playing the rest of this campaign. Sorry, that's right, they would literally call Ikaruga's arcade mode campaign, which is really funny. Right, they're like, man, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, but this game is too hard. And even online, I talked with people, and they're like, yeah, I played a couple shmups. I played Ikaruga, I didn't really feel that enticed to play it anymore, or to play any more shmups, but you know, I had a good time with the game. And just people telling me this stuff really hurts me, because I feel like if all this praise and positive attention were given to a game like, again, Espgaluda, which in my opinion, I think deserves as much praise as Ikaruga, because it has a great soundtrack, it has really nice visual, like the stuff that Cave was doing in Espgaluda for such weak hardware, it's absolutely mind-blowing, right? So if Espgaluda was given all this praise and attention from the mainstream gaming community, I feel like we would have more shmup fans right now. And I think it's a little bit unfortunate that Ikaruga, out of all games, is the one getting all the praise and attention. So before I end off this video, I obviously want to say I'm not trying to throw too much shade at the game. I love Ikaruga. I actually played it yesterday, and I actually did stop playing when I scored really well in stage 1, because stage 2 is, oh my god, stage 2 is so boring, dude. But I really enjoyed the game. I wouldn't put Ikaruga in my top 10 favorite shmups of all time, but I think it could definitely make my top 20 shmups of all time. So if you're somebody watching this video and you haven't played a shmup before, or you've played Ikaruga and you didn't really like it, don't judge the genre based off of this one game. Even if you've heard tidbits online, if you've never played it, please try a game out like Espgaluda. I know it's a little bit more difficult to get your hands on Espgaluda, but please give that game a shot. It's a genuinely good game that has a really good learning curve, and that helps you explain, and it will help you understand the mechanics of shmups better. So anyway, without further ado, this is going to be Nightwing, the best Robin, signing off.